Alright, so it is Saturday, September 23rd. I'm here at Fort Myers Beach. I'm trying to get my cameras oriented. It's about 1:30 in the afternoon. It took me some time to get here. I would have got here earlier today, but I had to stop in a store and get for sale sign for my house and do some other shopping, and it just was taking forever. So I'm only going to do probably a little over an hour bike ride. The main bike ride is going to be tomorrow because that's the last day of Sanibel. So I want to do kind of like a complete Sanibel bike ride, getting there early in the morning. So yeah, I had to run some chores today, so I had to sacrifice some of the time. And I'm hoping my cameras are straight and level. I'm hoping they're both recording at the moment. So it is. There was a hurricane affecting the Carolinas, and it's blowing in very cooler air. So for the beginning of fall, it really feels like fall, which is rare because normally the summer doesn't abate until, gosh, at least the first week of November usually. So for us to have a nice, like this morning, the temperature was 72 degrees. You couldn't beat that. Oh, thank you. 72 degrees out garage selling. It was awesome. Garage selling was kind of disappointing, but it could have been also the route I chose. Just, sometimes you just have to choose a route, and the route is not optimal based upon the direction that you're coming or going in, and you have to choose. So about 8 of the garage sales this morning didn't happen. And I think Cape Coral, we should have stayed in Fort Myers. Fort Myers, even the garage sales at 11 o'clock in the morning on the Fort Myers side were excellent compared to Cape Coral. So I can imagine that if at 7 o'clock in the morning, when normally Fort Myers garage sales on that side of the river opens up, they open up usually by 7. They are phenomenal, and the prices are excellent. But I only spent $3 today. Actually, I spent $5 extra, but I just didn't want to videotape it. I actually bought a bag of flavored vodka. It was fruit flavored vodka, and they were selling it for $1 a bottle, and the bottles were maybe a half liter. They weren't that big, so I got 5 for $5. So just wanted to sample it. So I didn't want to include that in the garage sale. And normally, if I buy any type of like guns or ammo or any type of alcohol, I'm not going to show it on the video, unless like I think a couple weeks ago there was a Canon one, and in the Canon one, while I was looking at the Canon, I saw a box. I couldn't escape it. I didn't want to delete it because it was a good scene in the video to show the Canon, and then me stumbling a box of ammo. So I'm like, okay, I'll have to save that. That's one of the highest rated garage sale videos I have. Everyone wants to see the Castilian Canon. I didn't buy it, but again, that one is like a residence cannon that people in the 1600s would use to protect their courtyards on shore. It's obviously it's a phony. It's a fake, but it's still pretty cool. So anyway, I just passed the nail. I should pick it up and throw it up the road. It looks like it's a mid-tide right now, so it looks like bicycling on the beach will happen. I'm looking over at the canal here. I can't see the water, so that's a good sign. It means the water is a little lower. The humidity is so down, though. I'm looking over towards the left, towards Sanibel. It's about 5 miles away from here. Crystal clear. I can see people on the beach, literally. There's no haze blocking the view. That's amazing. Temperature-wise, it's about 88 degrees still right now, possibly a tad higher, but it's still way down. It should be up in the 90s right now. This time of September, I remember like 3 years ago, the temperature got to 100 degrees for like 100 days straight. It was amazing. So far, only one day where the temperature at Fort Myers Beach here that I had it on the thermometer 116 degrees here at the beach. That was excruciating. you're almost out of breath. You don't want to open up your mouth because you don't want to let that heat in. So you're trying to breathe through your nose as much as you can, but still with that heat. Wow. Alright, so I'm looking at the water right now. It does look down a little bit. So it looks like, oh yeah, it's definitely mid-tide. It's down about a foot from high tide, so a foot lower, that's going to be awesome. So, I heard that there is some travel trailers that are potentially up for sale down in Naples, some of these FEMA trailers. Some people got in trouble stealing them and selling them. So I would love to buy one. In fact, I need one right now for myself. I could use one for my daughter. Again, just temporary. Or maybe I could buy one and fabricate that into a business location here on the beach. So that means I need to buy two of them. One for me to live in temporarily. Again, real estate right now is way too high. If you sell your property, there's no sense buying in at this high price. So either you're going to rent, either you're going to buy a condo and you're going to really be upset with yourself, or you're going to rent a place, which is just throwing money in the garbage. Or, buy something temporary for a year or two and, downsize greatly. I don't like the fact of putting stuff in a storage locker. I don't like that, spending $200+ a month and having this stuff not accessible. If I'm going to buy a place, I don't mind it being like a really nice fifth wheel or a manufactured home. I don't mind that. Preferably on stilts, so in case there is one of those lightning hurricanes that rolls through the area, at least I'll be able to lock everything, and then just take the car and vamoose. And that's the thing. The difference is when you have a house on the ground floor and you have valuables in it, you have to stay during a hurricane. At least the significant other, you either have to take it with you in the car, and that runs the risk here in Florida, driving through a Democrat area and having stuff confiscated. Getting into a car accident, next thing you know, the police are snooping around, they want to know serial numbers, registration, and whatever. You're like, wait a minute, it's open carry, and then the police, of course, are, doing their dastardly deeds and trying to steal it from you. Or, you have to stay home and defend it, like I'm going with it. Look, someone's getting married here on the beach. This is pretty cool. So, it's pretty awesome. So here's all these seagulls and terns, whatever you want to call them. Like a cross between like a penguin and a seagull. So it looks like the tide was up a bit because it hasn't rained. So this is just high tide that got stuck up here. So this sand is porous, so this water should have leached on through. It's getting bigger though. So there must have been a really high tide because where I'm right now, it's still kind of wet. So the tide must have just gone out. And only because where I'm bicycling right now, it's kind of firm. I don't mind bicycling over here, but I'd rather be over there in the beach area. Oh yeah, the tide is pretty low. The sandbar is only about 4 inches deep. It's about 30 yards offshore. It's pretty awesome. They graded the beach kind of nice here too. And see how far back the chairs are? So the tide was in probably within the last hour. Look. Hello. So that's the big shell. Got some kind of songs going on. They have really fixed up their pool area. They added a lot of stuff besides umbrellas. But the other pools are still fenced off, so they're still working on them. Now it's going to have to meander over to the beach. Oh yeah. Oh, this is very soft. It's see. All right. Oh, this is still soft here. Oh, this is more mud, not sand. Hold on, let me go higher up, see what's going on. No. Where I was bicycling was more firm. This is, the tide went out very fast. It didn't have a chance to, the wave action didn't have a chance to pound the surf and get all the air and water out of it. So it's still, what are we going to call it, evaporating or sublimating. It's getting a little bit better over here. Still, it's pretty awesome. Okay, I'm looking over here towards these apartments. I don't understand why I haven't gotten these apartments online yet. Sanibel only has one hotel, and I'll be visiting there tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last day to go over to Sanibel, so I'll be trying to spend as much time as I can over there on Sanibel. So some people have already left the beach. It's kind of late. I normally get here sometime between 11 and 11:30, but today just forget it. I'm glad though, because I prefer biking at this low tide. It's gorgeous out. Nice and calm. Low humidity. Sun glare though is pretty big. There are some puffy clouds. They said though it wasn't supposed to rain today. They said maybe tomorrow. Thursday was a lot of rain, a lot of lightning. Friday, nothing. So usually things come in 2 days. So yesterday and today will usually be the same, and then tomorrow will be the transient day. Whether it could either be the same or it could be completely different. But definitely Monday will be completely different. That's how it works down here in South Florida. It works in 2 days, with the third day being the option of being transient or the same. The fourth day will always be transient. I mean, it will always be changed. Excuse me, not transient. Again, any of these hotels that are still standing here, Fort Myers Beach is where the deals are going to be this year, not Sanibel. Sanibel only because there's one hotel. The Sundial is supposed to open up sometime this month or next month. That'll help out, but how many rooms they have, 600 rooms or whatever, it's just still going to be a drop in the bucket. Still, it will help out. And the nice thing about the Sundial is that it's down Donox or down Casa Bell. Casa Bell is right there by Jerry's, which is kind of the heart of the island at the moment. So, like here's the Edison Beach House, they're open. That's good. So you have the Pink Shell, you have the Edison Boat House, they're open. Margaritaville is opening in December. Lighthouse Resort is open. Lighthouse Inn, they're open now. The Matanzas Inn, they're open now. There's a place across the street from the Matanzas Inn, they're open. I forget the name of them, near Yahoo Willie's. And then Wanakai's open. Diamond Head is open. And that's it. So you have to be on this side of the island, really. Look at that, the sandbar comes and joins up with the beach up there. This is amazing. It was like 30 yards offshore, and now it came to join. And see how the people are positioned way back there? That's because the tide just receded. Oh, great, now we're hitting the bumpy area. This is a great area to have frisbee, play football. So look how far out it is. It's awesome. This is one of those extreme low tides. See, the beach is still draining itself. That little cut in the beach there. Looks like people are getting ready to buy this area here. If you're a commercial broker either on Sanibel or Fort Myers Beach. Now's the time to make bucket loads of money, because it's really the expectation of making money. It's not actually making money. So the expectation is there's going to be so much perceived war in Europe that nobody will want to go to Europe. There's too much communism in South America. Nobody will want a vacation there. And America really is the only place to go. So Canadians, Americans, everywhere in the world wants to come here, Florida. So the perceived value is, if you open up a business here on Fort Myers Beach, this is after it's been destroyed. Now it's the rebuilding. And people don't want to go to Europe because they don't want to get in World War III. They don't want to go to South America because there's communism and poverty everywhere. And all those illegals coming up here. Here's a pirate. There's a parrot.
Comes out like a cow.
No, two parrots on. See, there's a sandbar about 40 yards out. And all these boats are parked here. They're getting ready. They're getting ready for when Margaritaville does open. Hopefully there'll be bathrooms. But the proximity of Margaritaville to Lanakai is really close. So still it's going to be boat central here. Because that's why boats park here, because of bathrooms. And all the boats here are loaded with alcohol and burgers, so it attracts people from onshore, offshore. If you have a business, the best thing is get one of these pontoon boats like that one there, put a grill on it, get yourself a sideways freezer, put a whole bunch of drinks in there, ice cream, bring it to the beach here, and start selling it from ship to shore. Because you're not on land here. You're not required to do all the city rules. I think you have to be 3 feet offshore. So that's not a big deal. Yeah, that's a business idea that's never going to go away. You could bring beer here and easily sell it for $2 a bottle, easily. So wherever you buy a 24. You might as well buy about 6 24. Buy 6 24s, and that costs you $100 and some bucks. Come here, $2 a bottle. You're going to get 620, so you're going to get almost 150 bottles, and you'll sell them for $2 a piece. Yeah. So easy. That would each person here would buy 2 a piece at $4. Sure. That's money. You're not being too greedy. You could go as high as $3 a bottle and sell them, but. Now you're getting into almost the retail price, and people will start complaining if it's not like 27 degrees ice cold. But here's some people looking for treasure with their scoop buckets, and they probably spend about $2,000 each on gear. Wow. The thing that they're missing, though, is they're missing GoPro cameras. If they had GoPro cameras and they were recording everything, that makes sense, but they're not. So they're wasting their time here out in the... Well, I mean, why they come out in the midday? Why don't they come out in the evenings or the mornings where it's cooler? I mean, I can understand coming out now, low tide, but there must have been a low tide this morning. Or they could have came... Oh, there's a guy with the tuba. He lost some weight. Yeah, he charges $5 for pictures.
What are you doing? Buddy, dude.
Well, you go to high school and you partake in what do we call it, music arts, and you're not getting any headway in your career, so you might as well come out here and get $5 a photo. I mean, people in Las Vegas do that for a living, but again, you're dealing with 10,000 times more traffic. You'll have the Fort Myers Beach here times 1,000. There's a little sandbar island there. That's amazing. That was caused by the dredge the other day. You can see a sandbar island right there. So that's a low tide island. Amazing. It's pretty awesome. It'll eventually be pushed on shore here probably by next week. The beach in front of passing Diamond Head right now. It's large. It's at least 150 yards to Diamond Head from here. That's a huge beach. And the beach is pretty high too. I mean, this is a pretty good gradient from where I am down to the water. Again, it's low tide, so, but still, with this much gradient means there's this much sand on the beach. So, in other words, this beach won't go away at low tide. It stays at the same level. It never rains, so a lot of seashells. This is definitely coming from the dredge. All these seashells. You gotta be careful with my tires. And the bicycle up here where there's a lot less seashells. We're not going too far today. We're going to go down to where we, it all depends. I know the beach is kind of narrow there in front of Publix. I don't know if we're going to go all the way down. We'll go as far as we can go. Oh, it looks like somebody put some cornflakes out for him. Birds going crazy for cornflakes. Cornflakes over there. Get yourself some cornflakes. Talking to the birds. The birds were looking at me like, what's that over there on the ground? It's cornflakes. So yeah, that sandbar is only about 2 to 3 inches below the surface of the water. We're throwing the football. So we're passing one church that is still out of commission. I'm not sure if it's... Oh yeah, that's the chapel by the sea. That's the church right by the old Fort Myers Beach Town Center that they knocked down. And hopefully the Fort Myers Beach Town Center will do the smart thing and put their town center where the library used to be. Nobody used that library anyway. So now, the sandbar is nice hard sand. This is nice. It still needs to dry out a little bit, but it's nice and firm. Seashells aren't too bad. See some more people on bicycles coming to the beach. That's awesome. Yeah, tomorrow's going to be the big day. I'm probably going to get to Sanibel sometime around 8 o'clock in the morning. And then drive to Jerry's as usual. And then, hello. And then I'm not sure exactly what the plan of attack tomorrow will be. Fort Myers Beach is pretty much the same thing. There's really not much, besides driving down Estero Boulevard or the beach, you got one of these two avenues, and I mix it up a little bit. I try to do a little exploring, but this is the exploring. I'm exploring low tide. I'm exploring what low tide looks like. It changes every single week. Sanibel doesn't really have as nice low tide like Fort Myers Beach here. But maybe tomorrow, because this is an extreme tide right now. They may have an extreme tide tomorrow at the same time. An hour earlier, actually. Or it was an hour later. I think it's an hour later. Hello. So a lot of people are on the beach here that they don't have sunblock on. That's not smart. And you can tell when people start glowing red like that, you can tell that that's sunburn. I have sunblock on, sunblock 50 on my arms, legs, sunblock 30 on my back of my neck, my ears, and my face. But I also have a hat on, so the hat is shading some of my face. that was kind of disturbing. I've never seen that before. Hopefully never again. Sorry. Oh. I can see why Governor Abbott and everyone else in America is upset about these illegals coming into the country. Oh man. It's that South American beach attire where the men wear bikini bottoms that they should not be. Oh man, disgusting. Anyway, here's the fresh catch still standing, but I'm not sure if they put new windows in there or not. But it doesn't look like any work's been done. I mean, they painted it a little bit. What good is that? I'm busting up here because the sand is firmer. It's not that. It's kind of muddy down there. I was thinking. The French Press. I like the building, but the problem is FEMA has their 50% rule, and that building is destroyed more than 50%. Hello. She said it's morning, but she meant good day because it's past morning. I've been out there since morning. So, as the beach has changed a little bit, it's pretty good here. Yeah, so tonight I got the for sale sign for my house, thank goodness. And I bought some lettering too, just enough to make the my phone number, my name, and the asking price. I went to another house today, smaller than mine, $700,000. So I mean, I'm thinking about putting $750 on mine. That's not out of the ballpark. So once I get my pool going, again, I gotta spend $1,000 for the new pool pump and filter. My old pool pump works, but the ball bearings are squealing, and I can clean that with mineral spirits. But I would need to take the drive out, disassemble it, spray it with mineral, spray it, almost take a toothbrush, run it once with it open. Well, not with it running at like 10,000 or whatever it is RPMs, but I mean, kind of like hand rotating it and cleaning it with a toothbrush and spraying it with it and hosing it, spraying it, hosing it, and WD-40 it. I mean, I need to do that for about a week, and it's too much hassle for me to try to get something that could still last, you know, and all I have to spend is $190 on a brand new one. So brand new one wins, but the problem is with the brand new one I have to do new pool plumbing because there's the old one was like fixed in its ways, and it was restricting me for a long time. I didn't want to upset the balance of natural beauty, if you know what I'm talking about. I didn't want to replumb something, because always when you replumb something, you're taking the chance of opening the can of worms and everything will go wrong. And next thing you know, you're replumbing the entire thing. And there's also a jan valve in there, which is $100 minimum, probably $200. I have to be really cautious. I really want to reuse that. It's not leaking right now, but my plumbing also goes from 2-inch down to 1.5, and it goes in at 1.5, comes out 1.5, but the rest of my plumbing is 2-inch, which is weird. Don't ask me why they do that. All right, so we're passing the old, both the church, the big blue top church that was knocked down, and also the Titanic house was right over here. So we're passing by a bird that has a limp leg. And there's a bird in front of me here that doesn't want to move. I don't blame him. And a little tiny bird didn't get out of the way. That was amazing. And then there's another church up here. I mean, if I could buy these churches and turn them into businesses, I mean, what do they need here in the island? Oh, they need food store, that's for sure. Beach stores, not necessarily. Food, they always need food. Beer, definitely. Beer and wine, that's for sure. Walmart's not too far away though, so I don't blame. Walmart's making a killing right now. People going to Walmart and buying that cheap Bud Light. I would not buy it. I don't care if they sell for $12 for 24. I wouldn't buy it. But people in the beach are. So there's not much seaweed. It's hard to say if the seaweed's bunching up or not. It looks like the seaweed is bunching up, so the water does look like it's starting to make a return, come back inland. There was a big piece of coral offshore. For a second there, I thought it was like either a shark or a dolphin just waiting there in the water, but it was a piece of seaweed, or a piece of coral, I should say. Okay, now the beach is getting really muddy. I'm really sinking in here. I'm gonna go out this way. Like back to terra firma. Actually, what am I doing? Pedaling on extremely high gear. All right, this is better. Go a little lower now. Oh, now that's comfortable. Oh yeah, too comfortable. I have to up-gear it a little bit. Oh yeah, okay, that's perfect. All right, a little bit more bumpy here. I might have to up the beach a little bit more. Oh yeah, this is nice, firm and nice and flat. We're getting close to Publix. We'll turn around Publix, then we'll go point farther. I don't see fantastic seashelling. I see the seashells are good in this area, right where I'm bicycling. Not down towards the water break, but right up here. They look like they've been picked through. But there is I'm seeing a fighting conch, a king's crown. And right now, the shelling just got exceptionally good. I'm seeing some olives even, which is amazing. Not big stuff. So, after garage selling, my friend, he helps out at some of these food banks. He gets some food. He's been acquiring T-bone steaks, the best stuff. He gave me some hamburgers, some nice beef hamburgers. I couldn't resist. So I'm not sure if beef is like a treat. Human beings are made to eat beef. And when you eat beef, it just takes a little bit. You feel really good. Beef really cures the craving. Oh man. And you eat it slow. That's the key. So you don't fill yourself up, and you can savor every last morsel. Right now, the seashelling is really good. I'm looking for an alphabet cone. Seashelling has just gone from horrible to like excellent. So definitely the shelling is down here. And the beach is getting narrow too. We're getting closer and closer, which is kind of good though, because if I needed to go off on the road, it's very convenient to go to the road now. I've seen a couple angel-wing seashells. Okay, so now the beach is getting nice. Hold on, I want to go still bicycle up here. Sandbar is still making its showing out there. I see something more out there. I thought it was pelicans. It could be people. I think it is people. People with hats on. They don't look like people with hats, but they have those military, like Vietnam style hats on. I don't know what kind of birds those were. But they're squawking at me. Yeah, so we're getting up to okay, right here is where Publix is. Thank goodness Publix open though. Without Publix, I don't know. This beach would take another year to get back where it's going. At least with Publix here, the people that are handicapped, the people that are confined to using, the beach transportation, they can at least go to Publix and get some food. So for the people that live here, who rely on the bus service on the beach. Without Publix here, the bus service would not reopen. And it was not reopened, but when Publix was closed, now Publix is open, they could use the bus service, go to Publix and shop, and then also there's Junkaroo by the Bay. Hello. You can go to Junkaroo by the Bay and eat. The Yucatan restaurant down by Times Square on Old San Carlos Boulevard, that is actually a nice place. And it's open now, full seating dining. It's one of the, you have Wahoo Willie's, that's open. I'm talking about full restaurants now. Snug Harbor's restaurant's open. I think what else is open. It's not that many places open. The Pink Shell, the restaurant inside there, is open, but it opens at noon. It opens like at 11 o'clock. Okay, so there's the beach patrol up there. I'm turning around right here. It makes no sense. So these tire treads with some big tractor was on the beach. So you can see up here, the water did get up here at high tide. So there is a big stark difference in elevation between here high tide, which I'm driving on. See the water still caught here in the tidal pool. Low tide. So we got some sandbars that are exposed. See, at this angle coming back, there's more of the sun is helping me identify the seashells. A little more sun glare, but it's helping me identify them so I can see, like, if I'm looking for, like, lentil traps, olives, alphabet cones, yes, I wish. Genonias if I could. See a lot of fighting cones. Seagull wants you. Oh, wow. Cutting across those tire tracks. That could have caused a spin out. But luckily I was able to hold it. I was going kind of diagonally across them, which is even more treacherous than going either way. Lengthwise across them would be not of a big problem. And going through the trench there probably would have caused me to get stuck, but it wouldn't have caused me to slide. Shelling is very tempting here on the left-hand side. Very tempting to get out and pick up some of these perfectly good seashells, but again, what am I going to do with them? It's kind of bumpy up here. It's not bumpy right here, but it gets a little softer. So the best bicycling is right here, where the tide kind of like went really fast down. But in this area, it took maybe 5 or 10 minutes. Enough time to make the sand here nice and tight. Hold on, let's go down here and check it out. Oh yeah, it's muddy down here. Oh yeah. Well, oh yeah, it's muddy. The tire's sinking at least a half inch. Back up here. Oh yeah, it's nice and solid up here. It looks nice down there, but it's now the bumpy stuff. I have to go down here. That's the thing about the beach changes every 100 yards or so. The beach environment changes. You have to be willing to change with it. Thank you. Hello. That's how it looks like it's just about ready to come in. It's still low. Sometimes there's a little ebb and flow with tides. It's going out, and it looks like it's coming in for a little bit, and then it goes out again. this lace mirror actually just drove by. I had to avoid it because if I ran over it, that would have popped the tires. So just like that, the beach went from a lot of seashells to barely any seashells. Almost like you turned the light switch. Back up here again. Take the bumpy beach down there. Still, I'm seeing that fighting conch here and there. Oh, I saw a nice tulip shell. That was a nice one. About 2 inches diameter. I'm seeing a lot of clam shells. Both the heart cockle shell and the, well, all of them. The heart cockle, the clam, and the Florida common shell has like clam shells. They're stuck in the sand, and they're, because the tide went out, they pop up out of the beach. I guess because of the air inside of them, or they just don't want to get marined in the sand. And, some of them are still alive, some of them are dead. It's interesting. This must have been a very energetic high tide, because it looks like it moved a lot of sand from either offshore or onshore or just down the beach. And the reason why I can say that is because this is a really big low tide, and this is a very big flat, but it's not like flat with like tidal waviness in it. It's solid, which means that all the sand is at play on the beach. It's amazing. So, that's the amazing thing. One word of caution though, if you go out and buy Hot Pockets, make sure you cook them, because I had some Hot Pockets I thought I put in for 2 minutes each, and I only had 2 of them. I had them in the evening. That could be the reason why. I felt sick to my stomach while I was sleeping, and I had to wake up 2 times. Not to go into detail, but once I got that out of my system, I seem to be okay. So, Hot Pocket should be for only those special occasions that you intend to eat 1 or less. So, right now the sand is not too bad. It's not too soft and it's not too hard. So it's really peaceful here at the beach. I am picking up a westerly, west to east wind right now, about 2 miles an hour, which is nice. Definitely cools you off. Reminds you that it's not 95 degrees out. Although on the beach here, it feels like it's about 90 something, 91. It's got hotter. That water doesn't look too bad, but this hurricane or tropical low, whatever it is, off the Carolinas, is pumping down some nice evening cool breezes. I mean, it's really enjoyable to be outside working. I just passed a really nice tulip. Oh, there's a shark's eye. Hold on. Yeah, you gotta check this out. It's too amazing just to drive by it. Looks like they're live seashells because they're in the middle of nowhere, almost as if the live seashells got lost. I don't know. See this? It's a little broken, but this is the shark's eye I saw. I'm gonna throw that back. And I'm gonna pass a tulip shell over here. Let's see. Can I find it? Can I find it? And I can. Now this one, it's kind of big, but it's got a little brokenness here. So I'm gonna throw it that way on the beach. Maybe somebody will pick it up later, but again, if you want like fighting conchs, they're like this. They're all over the place. It's in excellent shape. Look how big this shell is. They're all over the place on the beach. So These make excellent shell lamps. In fact, you can make shell nightlights out of them. They're all over the place. You can get 100,000 of them right now. And all you do is you clean them out with some soapy water, and then you shellac them in like a spray shellac, or you can even silicone them. That non-yellowing silicone would be fine. But I would shellac them, and then once you shellac them, the vivid colors come out, and oh, they look awesome. You can make a night light by putting a little light at the bottom of them, or just fill up one of those glass shell lamps and make a shell lamp out of it. Those are awesome. People also make glass coffee tables. The middle coffee table, there's like a little 2-inch cavity. They fill it with like a beach scene of seashells. Again, those seashells are awesome, but you still got to clean them. So whatever you do, you got to clean them with soap and water, and you have to shellac them, or else if you don't, they start smelling like the beach. Again, if you want your room to smell like the beach, perfect. But if you don't want it to smell like the beach, then you shellac them, and it'll be good. Hello. People are just in a really somber mood right now, just enjoying it, you know. Down here, they're enjoying it. It's not crowded. Everyone's having a good time. So there's a buoy offshore, 2 of them, and you have seagulls playing King of the Hill there, standing on top of it. Probably a game they're playing. There's no one to feed them. They're probably waiting for handouts. They're starving. The seagulls are pecking on the seaweed. See if they get any crustaceans, any ants or little crabs that are walking on top of the seaweed. And the little tiny seagulls are going for coquinas that open up just for a split second. The sand here now is nice and hard. It was kind of soft about 100 feet back, but now it's nice. Yeah, when I take my bike home, I just hose it down with a nice shower hose rinse. And then I let that dry for about 5-10 minutes, more like 10 minutes, in the shade. I don't like leaving it in the sun. I inspect it again. If I have to hose it down again, I will. And then after that, I give it a WD-40 hose down. And again, I'll let that sit for about 10 minutes, 20 minutes before I bring it inside and park it in my garage for storage. Try to keep the bike nice. And I will periodically, I'll take an old toothbrush and clean the gears while I'm hosing it down with water. It's gorgeous on the beach right now, it's gorgeous. This has been one of the best bicycle rides. I mean, the beach is just totally awesome. Plenty of choices where to bike right now. And the beach sand is nice and hard. So it helps when people are walking on the beach too. They actually squeeze the water out of the sand and make the beach harder. And usually the beach, it's not just where they stand, it's within 6 inches of where they stand. So it's almost a good 18-inch diameter walking circumference that they squeeze the water out of the beach. But you can see that by the bicycle pathways ahead of me on the ground. That, yeah, probably some of them are mine. It's awesome here. The sandbar right now is about 40 yards off, maybe almost 50. But coming up in the next 100 feet, the sandbar kind of like goes away and a new one forms about 80 yards out. Water temperature is still pretty warm. It's about 85. It's not cold. You're gonna get some areas in high tide where there's some undercurrent. You might get like down to 80 or so. I mean, that'd be a dream come true. But here at low tide, with the sun penetrating all the way down to the seafloor, it's about the same temperature on land right now as it is in the water. And the water here is absorbing all that sunlight. It's not letting any go. There's the cornflakes again. Here's Diamond Head again. This is where the activity starts. I hear people working on Diamond Head. So I can see they're working on some of the railings that are still not fixed. See if they're doing a good job. For the most part, they're all fixed though. There's a bar on the bottom side, like a little bar restaurant, but they still haven't fixed. That's about it on Diamond Head. They fixed their elevator. The pool's all fixed, the beach bathrooms are fixed, the restaurant on the first floor is all fixed, and about 99% of the rooms are fixed. That's that beach bar. That's that little across from Kyocera shopping center that I want to make into a casino. That's that little beach bar with all that music. There's I'd say about 30 people over there right now, so they're doing pretty good. There's a one-person live band that's helping out. There's a lot of people out here. I see two sandbars. One sandbar is about 50 yards out. Hello. I see another sandbar. Hello. Is about 80 to 100 yards out. And the sandbar that's 100 yards out is only about 3 inches deep. I see waves breaking and people playing soccer way out there. And there's another sandbar about 200 yards out. So there is quite a few sandbars out here. I see wave runners about a mile offshore, which is amazing. A lot of people are like nodding and saying hello, so I have to say hello back. I have to be courteous. I see places like the Tiki Bar in the Lighthouse Resort. They're going to be crowded tonight. The amount of people I see out here. So again, we're just passing the Lanakai, and the first floor above ground floor is still boarded up, but the second floor, third floor, they fixed that. So it looks like they're renting it. There's someone for everyone here at Fort Myers Beach. If you're looking for it, it's here. That's for sure. And everyone is on the sandbar offshore. They look like they're knee deep in water. They're just squatting down in the water and they're drinking their beers. So everyone's having a good time out there. There's like Looks like you have to be 50 yards offshore to really enjoy this beach here. We all are drinking beers and bottled beers. So we're passing by the Margaritaville, and they're starting to put up the signage on the buildings. So they're supposed to open this in December, but it could be sooner. Yeah, they're starting to put up, it looks like the ground floor is all going to be restaurants and shops. So I see La Di Da Beach Bar, and I see a whole bunch of other signage going up. So it's going to be really quaint, really nice. So it's a nice addition to Fort Myers Beach. I just wish there would be a big hotel chain that would buy up Times Square and make that into something nice. Even if Margaritaville were to expand, it would be nice. But a nice cool breeze there. That brought the effective temperature back down to 85. It was up near 90. That cool breeze, nice. So the beach here, sand is really nice and packed. And look at the sandbar jetting out from the beach here. This is amazing. So the tide is still, let me see if it's going in or out. It seems the tide is still going out, but the tide is coming in a little bit. So there is an ebb flow coming in. Still a low tide though. Thank you. Let's go over here a little bit because I haven't been over here. Again, exploring the sandbar. This won't be here at high tide. This is pretty cool. We're far out. We're about halfway out to the end of the old pier. I'm not going to go in the water though. You can see how far the sandbar goes out, and people are enjoying themselves way out there. Now we're going to go through a little bit of water here. So you go diagonally across those rip sand, and you don't feel it as bad when there's a little bit of water around. If there was no water around, yeah, you would feel all the vibrations. You see the people. This is awesome. They need somebody in a little push cart selling ice cold Modelo beer. Oh wow. Or even dark and tan Yuling. And dark and tan Yuling with a lime. Oh man, that would be awesome. And some ice cream sandwiches, that would be nice too. That's the thing, if you live in Florida, you need to take some time during daylight hours to enjoy Florida. Don't shy away in a room all day long, only to spend evenings when the bugs come out. You gotta enjoy Florida in the prime day too. So, like your dog wants to come to the beach, he also wants ice cream and sausage too, but I would spoil dogs like that. We're gonna cut inland here. See how far I can bicycle before I tail fish tail. Oh, it's not gonna get too far. I'm gonna try it. Look here. I was like that little roller ball with it's kind of like a skateboard, but it's got one ball in it. Oh, that's it. I'll walk over this debris. These pavers, though, people would be stealing them because they're $10 to $20 each. Nice, nice for sale sign. This black compass one. I like how it's simple and lightweight. It's easy for someone to install. Although the push down signs are the best for, if you're selling just regular property, you don't need the grandiose advertiser. And any sign will sell. You don't need a big sign. The big sign, I think you're selling the whole building. A little sign will do. I like how they're making these buildings though out of pre-stressed concrete, and they're reinforcing it with rebar. I like that. Put a little extra money in up front, and it's the gift that keeps on giving with every passing hurricane. I'm just gonna go down that little road there, but I've been down the road before. It's hardly anything there. 7-Eleven still. No 7-Elevens are back on the island at all, which is sad. I'm just gonna do a little bicycle ride down Star Boulevard. Just check it out a little bit. Oh, last time I came here, I skipped it. So Lynn Hall Park is crowded as usual. It's still free. I park here when I can, but I got here late today, so I know there was nothing here for me. They still haven't knocked down these bathrooms, although they need to. I don't know. I mean, it's more power to them if they think they're going to fix them. That car didn't know where it was going. Cut in front of it. And some people here think, I should have went that way. Some people think, though, they can get a parking spot. Granted, there's one or two people. Even his guy got a nice spot. He's got his puppy dog, everything. He's got a pirate flag, and he's got his puppy dog. See, there's one spot over here, but this is for the sheriff. People think that this is available, but it's not. I don't know why the sheriff gets a nice spot. And then they're putting more porta potties out here, crowding a parking spot. We should stop doing that. Okay, let me see if I get through here. Oh, no. This is recipe for disaster. Oh, I can't believe I made it. So that's the pier. Again, still destroyed. It's a pelican paradise. So if you see way out there's all these pelicans on it. See straight out there? So this is the old Dairy Queen Pier 1. Here's Times Square. That used to be where, I forget the name of it now, but it started with a C. It's a Greek restaurant. And then Yo Taco came over here, but they're hardly doing any business. This is probably the next business that's going to be for sale. This business over here seems to be doing pretty good in terms of selling beer. This is the old West Coast Surf Shop, and that's the elevator tower that survived the storm. So they fixed it up, and it looks pretty awesome. So it's they have artwork inside there. So they took out the elevator, put a staircase, like a spiral staircase in there. It's pretty awesome. And then there's artwork, so you can go in there and look at artwork. Somebody has a remote controlled. Awesome. I almost bought one for $20 at a garage sale this morning. One of these, yeah. I like how you have your dog in there. He looks awesome. He's got a dog in there with sunglasses on. It's pretty cool. So here's Margaritaville again. Oh, they're putting a traffic light in here? What? Oh, my God. This is pretty stupid. We don't need a traffic light in Fort Myers Beach. We still don't need a traffic light in Fort Myers Beach. And then they're going to put a traffic light in here. For what reason? What reason? I mean, what reason? There's no road that way. It's stupid. Wasting money. I mean, there's a bridge there. People use the bridge to get across. They don't need a traffic light. And driving, people are very courteous. What they need is an elevated road here. They need a secondary elevated road. So, a throughway. So, they still haven't put in the final layer of concrete on the pool. The shallow end, at least, there's a lip. You still need to put that diamond right down. So that's new, that light. John Wood Properties for sale. I would love to buy this property. This would cost me $100,000 to put sand here, unless I get it for free somehow. And 7-Eleven, I don't know why they're taking their sweet time to rebuild. Tuna Skin almost rebuilt this entire store and building. They're just about ready to reopen. And because they got parking here, they should be able to do pretty good. Looks like somebody wanted to buy something, but there's nobody in the store. Maybe that was the salesperson going back and lounging in the air conditioning room. Nice. So Lanakai is, again, their first floor above ground floor is not open, but the rest of the floors are open and their elevator works. So that's a good sign. Looks like they have a motorcycle convention in here. So let's see, $15 parking. I'll see what's over here. It must be $20 parking. Yeah, $20 parking over here. So it looks like more people are coming to the beach now because there's more parking, which is good. I like this Kia Estero shopping center. I really wish they would fix it, at least, for me at least. Looks like they took down one of the staircases. There used to be 3 staircases, now I only see 2. Hey, they took one down. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. So yeah, this Kia Estero shopping center, I would make that into a ground floor flea market and then upstairs casino. And the flea market would be every single day, 6 a.m. to 12 noon. And the casino would be 24/7. And I would have dollar beers up there. Sure, why not? I'd buy all the Bud Light I get my hands on for $10 for 24 glass bottles, and I'd be serving them up for $1 a piece. They want people to drink it. I'll be selling it rock bottom, and they better keep the $10 24 cases available for them. All right, we're gonna turn around right here. I'm not going any further. There's Diamond Head, and there's this nice resort that was knocked down here. Diamond Head should buy this. There used to be a couple bicycle rental places here on the beach. They don't have any anymore. That's what they need, bicycle rental. That's a business opportunity that's wide open here. Either a car rental, they need car rental on the beach, they don't have it. Bicycle rental, they need that. They need a tricycle rental. Those little four, just like Billy's bicycles, they need Billy bicycles over here. And they need more pizzerias and more delivery businesses here on the beach. They don't have it. They need a Domino's. They need some other businesses. So anyway, I mean, they could use 1 or 2 more beach shops, but for the most part, they need beverage and ice cream. They have a couple, but when Dairy Queen went under, Dairy Queen took out there used to be McDonald's here, McDonald's left. Of course, there was Dairy Queen. Dairy Queen was like the low end, and that's gone now. So now they only have, and 7-Eleven's gone right now. So 7-Eleven would cater to that, still expensive at the low end, and they don't have that anymore. So you could sell beer for under $3 a bottle here, or under $2.50 a can. You got yourself a business. People would buy as much as they get their hands on. People think that parking over there at the Kia Estero Shopping Center is free, but it's not. You gotta pay. They think because no one is collecting money that it's free. But they're going to end up with an envelope on their windshield say you owe us $10 or more. Fort Myers Beach is recovering. It still has a lot long way to go. Only about maybe 1/10 of the beach is recovered so far, which is still big because it used to be 1/100th. The Lighthouse Inn was the first place to reopen, and the Tiki Bar was open. That was a shining hope, because that gave inspiration to Diamond Head and some of these other places to open. And when Lighthouse Inn opened up, then Pink Shell reopened, and then the Matanzas Inn opened, and then Diamond Head opened, and Lanakai opened. Oh, okay, thank you. Oh, sorry. Thank you very much. I like this tuna skin. If I could go in halves with them, I would do so. Terrible. Thank you again. So it looks like all the motorcyclists are going over to this place right here, and I hear they have good prices. They're crowded right now. Must be about 100 and some people in there. So those are the drink specials going on right now. So looks like you have another 100 motorcyclists going to enter that beach bar. So this place here, the Surf Club, I'd love to buy it, but they want $7.9 million. Come on, how can you stomach that much? That's ridiculous. And then this guy over here wants $10 million for his property. Wow. Hey, more power to him. Anyway, we're going to call it. But I'm glad to see Margaritaville is just about ready to reopen. They're just putting the last finishing touches on some of the staircases that they're building. Again, they just want to get open. They probably have bigger plans coming up, but it's still pretty cool. Someone put in a parking spot here. It's pretty awesome. Whoever built this wall here must own all this property. It's pretty awesome. Did a great job. Built his own little resort. Here's the Lighthouse Resort Inn and Suites. For the most part, at least 60% of this resort is open. Their older buildings are the ones that are not open. They're still trying to refurbish them, but it'd be smarter if they would just knock them down and put new buildings in. So here I am back at my parking. It looks like everyone thought this was also a great idea, so it's full here. Anyway, until tomorrow on Sanibel. See you guys next week.